Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines. There's a lot happening today. We're looking at America's largest crypto exchange prepares to offer derivatives. South Korea taking a much different approach than Gary Gensler's SEC. We'll get into it. We're also going to hear about payment giant Visa teaming up with Consensys, and we'll get into those details, and we're going to see how it actually stacks up with the Web3 for that calls and so much more. We got hard cold facts for you. And then we're going to take a look at SEC's Gary Gunzler and Ripple's legal team Stuart Alderati fires back at him from yesterday's comments. And BRICS Coalition New Infrastructure and Digital Pound Foundation, Tom Emmer introduces a new bill that's going to put the Fed on a lockdown when it comes to a certain event. You need to know exactly what it is, and this guy knows exactly what he's doing. By the way, we're going to hear from Benoit Courier and the BIS Swiss National Bank 6 exchange CBDC wholesale test completed. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at BackupBradleyAbove and everything that we're talking about here today. Make sure you give us a follow on Facebook. We just did an exclusive live stream on there last Sunday. I think we're going to try to do that on Sundays as long as it works out for the family. We do share exclusive content on that page, so give us a follow. Digital Perspectives News, no spaces. $2.076 trillion market cap for crypto, ladies and gentlemen. We're up a little more than 2% this morning. Bitcoin 43,700 plus, Ethereum 3,300 plus. We see Solana coming in at right now 151 and change, and we see Cardano at $1.28, XRP 78 cents. Everything's up right now. I can't really explain why, but we see we're ranging on XRP price from 0.7774 on the bottom and 0.8085 on the top. We will keep an eye on it. The numbers are brought to you by Link2, ladies and gentlemen. It's private investing made simple. The market is being suppressed, and we know this. The market is being suppressed. This case is suppressing the entire crypto market, not just Ripple and XRP. The entire market, and the lack of clarity from the SEC and other agencies who appear to have no voice at this point. You know, to that tune, they are running a special at Link2 that you can get some incredible rebate and incentives if you participate. You do have to be accredited, but if you are, and you use your Uphold wallet to purchase crypto, they will drop $500 of XRP into your Uphold wallet. Now, using XRP is really a show that they believe too, as we do, XRP is a currency. And I think that's an amazing gesture on their part. And if you make a third investment, say in Link2, they will drop $1,000 of XRP into your Uphold wallet. If you make a fourth or more, they will drop $1,500 worth of XRP for each of those additional investments. That's key to understand. If you do not use your Uphold wallet, they will give you what they call Link2 bucks. They'll give you 1,000 Link2 bucks for your second investment, and 2,000 Link2 bucks for your third, and 3,000 Link2 bucks for your fourth and additional investments. All if they're done within 24-hour period. Make sure you contact. If you're not accredited, get registered. You can get some incredible data on the brick and mortar companies behind these sectors. It's incredible. Take a look right here, ladies and gentlemen. America's largest crypto exchange, which was formerly listed on Link2 as private equity before going public. By the way, little known fact, $32 on on Link2's platform, and then IPO'd for 400 plus, right? So I think you understand the advantages of being a part of private equity. So anyway, this is what's happening here, and it is showing big signs because Coinbase here has really become the largest exchange in the U.S., has acquired FairX derivatives exchange in order to building a crypto derivatives trading platform for their future customers in the US. I tell you, this thing just keeps getting bigger. And I don't know about you guys, remember BACK, B-A-K-K-T? The parent company ICE that owns also the New York Stock Exchange? Boy, has that been a little sleeper. I've been trying to acquire as much of that as possible. Oh, anyway, here we go. It would appear that they're not messing around, South Korea. You got that right, Hall of Famer Michael says. Prosecutors in South Korea are demanding life sentences for 7 former executives of a now defunct cryptocurrency exchange who were charged with defrauding investors of just under $1.9 billion. How about that? Now there's your clarity. Now, the Department of Justice would pursue criminal charges here in this country, where the SEC is a civil side of taking action here. But here we see there isn't much happening in the way of action outside of suing Ripple and XR over XRP. And we see Gary Gunzler discusses regulations for Ripple. I think we've all heard that his waffling on the topic and refusing to take a stance when even asked about Ether, which is not in the case or being pursued by the SEC at this moment. He gives this analogy here. Imagine a football game without referees. Without fear of penalties, teams start to break rules. The game isn't fair, and maybe a few men, it isn't fun to watch. Without examination against an enforcement of our rules, we can't instill the trust necessary for our markets to thrive. Oh, brother, you know, Gary, this would be a well thought out statement if we all hadn't been following exactly what's been going on. And in conclusion to that, there is the reference that he laid out right here. I want to share first what Crypto Law replied here. It said, imagine a referee, let's say William Hinman, who makes a high-profile call while receiving $15 million from a law firm promoting the team that won the point. And ahead of the franchise, you, Gary Gunzler, who says the referee was just giving his personal opinion on the field that day. Oh, Crypto Law really knows how to lay it down, and so does this guy. John Deaton says, a high-impact case pulls many other actors back from the line. Gary Gunzler's comment. He says, what about the collateral damage caused when you pick a high-impact case just to have a chilling effect on other actors? Is $15 billion in damages to innocent holders worth the message? Great point, John Deaton. And I tell you, to add to that, Stuart Alderati rings in here, and he rings it in very nicely to bring it home and land the plane here. And this is Stuart Alderati from Ripple Legal Team, who says, my first reaction reading this speech, what a great gift there. He says, in to response of Gary Gunzler's really inadequate comments, he says, in all seriousness, the football field with no referee analogy Chair Gunzler insists on using is wrong. The truth is the SEC uses regulation by enforcement to create an uneven playing field and pick winners and losers according to the opaque rules they make up as they go along. His speech says, a high-impact case pulls many other actors back from the line. Now, does that sound like regulation by enforcement to anyone else? It does to me, Stuart. It does to me. The SEC intends that the mere filing of a case chills behavior, regardless of whether they are right on the law or the facts. Because after all, that's why the SEC plays a delay card and uses it to their advantage. So much for justice delayed is justice denied. How about publicly committing to moving the Ripple case as swiftly as possible with no more delays? Well said, Stuart Alderati. Now, we will keep you in tune because the case has been pushed back a month. Now, both sides agree that regardless of the month delay for the expert discovery, they say that delay will not affect any other deadlines throughout the case. We will see. We do know that, deliberative process privilege is supposed to be ruled on as a motion there. We'll see which side of the gavel that ruling falls on. Let's stay tuned for that. Now, let's change gears a little bit here because this is what it's all about. We're talking about new infrastructures that will be used, distributed ledger technology, albeit the XRP Ledger or other protocols as well, to really be adopted. And in order for that to happen, we have to have a case like this, however unpleasant it feels going through the process, to get a legal precedent so we can move forward and or get some kind of legislation that could really help the court with its ruling as well. So right here we see BIS, Swiss National Bank, 6 exchange complete wholesale CBDC trial. Let's take a quick look at this because it says quite a few things in here you're going to want to know about. Now, it does go into here and says Switzerland is particularly ready to launch a wholesale central bank digital currency. We need to understand there is a difference between wholesale digital currency, CBDC, and a regular digital currency. It says here, wholesale CBDC is not to be confused with a digital currency issued by a central bank that would find its way into retail bank accounts. Now, this is going to become very important, that point. Don't forget it as we move forward here. So far, no one at the SNB, Swiss National Bank, or SIX has said the launch of the wholesale CBDC in Switzerland is imminent, despite seeming to have stolen a march on the most of the world. That's said, most countries have begun at least kicking the tires on CBDCs of some form. The report issued earlier by the UK's House of Lords Economic Affairs Committee concluded that a retail-facing CBDC might be a solution in search of a problem. However, the Lords report was more optimistic about the introduction of a wholesale CBDC, which could enhance efficiency in securities trading and settlement. Are we hearing this? They're saying not so much looking for the retail CBDC to be facing retail consumers and customers and citizens, but that introduction of a wholesale CBDC back end could enhance the efficiency of securities trading and settlement, adding to further experimentation are necessary. They go on to say that they have demonstrated that the innovation can harness to preserve the best elements of the current financial system, including settlement in central bank money, while also potentially unlocking new benefits. Benoit Coyer, the head of the BIS Innovation Hub, said in a statement, as distributed ledger goes mainstream, this will become more relevant than ever. Still, it is unclear whether Switzerland will begin a third phase of wholesale CBDC prototype dubbed Project Helvetia. The testing, which took place over 3 days in December of 2021, proved that issuing a CBDC on DLT platform, listen to this, operated and owned by a private sector company, Swiss Stock Exchange owner SIX in this case, was both operationally possible and feasible under Swiss law, according to the press release. Look, I have to tell you, does this not fall in line with what we understand about the XRP Ledger, the private ledger that has been built and is being used by Ripple, the private XRP Ledger for central banks to launch CBDCs and wholesale back end to settle the derivatives market, which is in the hundreds of trillions of dollars, if not more? This all goes in line with what I showed you yesterday as well and reported on. It is the Digital Pound Foundation, for which Ripple is a member thereof, right? And what did they say? They told us very quickly as a recap as we move forward, enterprises across the world therefore have been working on new infrastructures to support what is becoming, in effect, a new operating system. Early models include the services construct of new marketplaces such as Amazon, Alibaba, WeChat, and Facebook that are built on this new operating system. And they go on to say more far-reaching infrastructure work stretches beyond even those. Don't you think that means this? Don't you think that means exactly what we just went over? Because I know I do. And in light of that and understanding wholesale CBDCs versus central bank digital currencies that are retail facing as well, this man is brilliant. Tom Emmer, today, which was yesterday, introduced a bill prohibiting the Fed from issuing a central bank digital currency directly to individuals. And here's why it matters. As other countries like China develop CBDCs that fundamentally omit benefits and protections of cash, it is more important than ever to ensure the United States digital currency policy protects financial privacy, maintains the dollar's dominance, and cultivates innovation. Well said, Tom Emmer. CBDCs that fail to adhere to these three basic principles could enable the entity like the Federal Reserve to mobilize itself into a retail bank, collect personally identifiable information on users, and track their transactions indefinitely. Not only does the CBDC model raise single point of failure issues, leaving Americans' financial information vulnerable to attack, but it could be used as a surveillance tool that Americans should never be forced to tolerate from their own government. Excuse me, well said. Requiring users to open an account at the Fed to access a United States CBDCs will put the Fed on an insidious path akin to China's digital authoritarianism. So he's just crushing it here, I believe, really, really showing what needs to happen. And he goes on and on to say that any CBDC implemented by the Fed must be open, permissionless, and private. This means that any digital dollar must be accessible to transact on a blockchain that is transparent to all and maintain the privacy elements of cash. In order to maintain the dollar status as the world's reserve currency in a digital age, it is important that the United States lead with a posture that prioritizes innovation and does not aim to compete with the private sector. And this sets up the window for a public-private relationship, ladies and gentlemen, I believe, for the XRP Ledger and the XRP token to serve as a wholesale back-end CBDC for the United States, as well as a bridge currency for all the value of the world. Don't believe it. I think it's still true. Simply put, we must prioritize blockchain technology with American characteristics rather than mimic China's digital authoritarianism, out of fear. You know, this is remarkable. Bank XRP nails it here. Your nonstop work in this space is outstanding. Thanks again, Mr. Emmer. I completely concur. This is the very, very simple bill that prohibits the Federal Reserve Bank relating to certain products or services for individuals by basically saying simply this as a bill. You don't think you get a bill any simpler than this. Except as specifically authorized under this act, a Federal Reserve Bank may not offer products or services directly to an individual, maintain an account on behalf of an individual, or issue central bank digital currencies directly to an individual. I think this is such an amazing idea because it keeps the separation here as needed as we move forward and keep the innovation in the private sector. You can have a public-private relationship just like USD coin. You could have XRP and the XRP Ledger. Everything's interoperable, so on, XLM, you get it. This is a reminder of just how powerful and incredible the XRP Ledger is. Listen to this quick little clip here.
The XRP Ledger, or XRPL, is a decentralized, permissionless, open-source blockchain that anybody can contribute to, develop on, and transact on. Development of the ledger began in 2011 by 3 Bitcoin developers who understood the benefits of Bitcoin but wanted something more efficient, scalable, and sustainable. So they built in some key benefits from the start. Fast confirmation in 3 to 5 seconds. Low transaction fees, typically under 1 cent. And a fairness advantage, which means that no single participant decides which transactions take priority. The ledger provides developers powerful utility and flexibility. You can code in Python, Java, and JavaScript. And it supports a variety of use cases like payments, tokenization and NFTs, DeFi, and more. The ledger uses its native digital asset, XRP, to enhance liquidity between currencies, including crypto, tokens, and other forms of value. Governance of the ledger is community-led, so any proposed changes or amendments to the protocol must be approved by validators. The XRP Ledger has operated continuously since January 2013, and over 1.8 billion transactions have been completed as of 2021. So if you're interested in joining the current community of innovators, developers, and businesses who are building on the XRP Ledger, then have a look at the next chapters and learn more.
There you go. Well said. And thank you to her for laying down that information. Thousands of a penny, ladies and gentlemen. However, what we're watching right now is we're watching Visa partner with Consensys to help bridge CBDCs with traditional financial institutions. And listen, I hope that they understand what they're getting into here, because let's take a look at this. Energy consumed by 1 Ethereum transaction could power over 100,000 Visa transactions. Somebody might want to send this to Visa, right? Because I got some more hard cold facts for you. And now we just found out that it's thousands of a penny, which a lot of us have already known, to do a transaction on the XRP Ledger. However, look at this. As of 1 hour ago, Ethereum transaction fees are $13.20. Somebody might want to let Visa know about all of this. Well, this Web3 ain't looking much like a Web3 Internet of Value to me. This ain't looking like the 4th Industrial Revolution. This is looking like a scam, is what it's looking like to me. I tell you, the hard cold facts are hard to get around. And by the way, don't forget that while the Digital Pound Foundation is really moving to a incoming release of a CBDC, and we understand that many regions may choose to be retail facing with a CBDC, but much will be participating in a wholesale back-end version of it. Don't forget about this. We covered this some time ago here, where they explained BRICS, the coalition. Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa have a coalition where they've built a new infrastructure and intend to have it work as a SWIFT workaround because they're tired of the sanctions of SWIFT, let alone the inefficiency. Take a listen to how this would work, and much have speculated about this being the XRP Ledger and XRP token used for that as well. We will find out.
Into U.S. sanctions, because if the U.S. is sanctioning you, you can't move money using that SWIFT system. So what's really interesting is, number one, they're creating a payment system that would go around SWIFT. But how do you do that when you have 5 major countries that all have their own currencies? And one of the ways they're doing that is by using possibly cryptocurrency to do that. That would translate their currencies into a single cryptocurrency that is then used through the system and then formulated, I guess, when it gets into their country, back into their own personal currency. So essentially, you're taking currency from one, sending it through as a cryptocurrency, and then back on the other end into transforming it into another currency. And that allows them, again, to get around this SWIFT system in a way that no one had really thought about in the past, because crypto already has all of those things in place. Into U.S.
It's speculative, obviously, and showing the illustration there of XRP and the exchange as a bridge currency is edited in, right? But shout out to Jack the Rippler there, because we understand that what he explained is the role of XRP, so other countries don't have to hold so many different currencies dormant for the settlement of their daily transactions. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for me. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe, leave a comment below. While U.S. retail holders are being handcuffed more than ever from getting XRP, and the case gets a 1-month delay, the digital pound, BRICS, right? The BIS, all of them continue to roll out massive pilots and testing because they're walking towards it as quickly as possible while the rest of us are being held up on the sidelines. I'll catch all of you on the next one.